All right, we're back. Still on the Zephyr. Got some thoughts on the steering. We got some parts that have been both donated, gotten, and found. Whoa. Gotten, donated, and found. Got 2 shifters, left and right. I'm gonna check those out. Got a steering firewall bushing. And then we found a steering column. It's way back there. So you may notice the shop is looking a little clear. Laundry's laundering. Cleaned out the corner. A large stock of adult beverages populating because we're going on vacation. We're coming up on it. We got about a week out. We're trying to produce at maximum velocity. We're gonna skip some days, but we're trying to rein that in, trying to keep this information flowing. So today we're gonna try to get the steering in the Zephyr steering for the first time with the steering wheel. So let's discuss. All right, here we go. Last time we met, we were down in the shop doing some Volkswagen stuff. All the while, things have been gotten, found, and donated. Remember, we had that Zephyr wheel. It's gonna get restored. Then we found the Mercury steering column fit the Zephyr wheel. So it's got this thing for the lock. I'm gonna try to save that for the lock should it get used by someone else. I found these 2 shifters through a viewer. Somebody said that's a Chevy Camaro. I'm not sure. He called it a horseshoe. It makes sense to me. Looks cool. Let's assume it's a Chevy. This one's definitely, someone said Ford Pinto, someone said Ford Mustang. I don't know. Your classic, very simple T-handle shifter. So we got that. And then I searched for a couple things. I mentioned in the last episode that I had bought 2 of these and I didn't want it to look like a race car with an aluminum flange, and they seem to be smaller, and others were just for wiring. So this was from a boat supplier, and I imagine some controls go through the hull or whatever, but I like the large diameter flange. It's rubber, it's somewhat telescopic, and you could trim this to fit whatever goes through. So that's gonna be our steering grommet on the firewall. There's a lot going on in the neighborhood all of a sudden. It always happens when you turn on the camera. Laundry has stopped for the moment, so it's quiet. Dogs are getting busy. I wanna step inside the car, disassemble the steering shaft, because we had some questions about that. After I welded it in, how does it come back out? We're gonna find out. We're gonna look at a big hole in the firewall. We're gonna decide what shifter goes in. We're gonna hook up the steering wheel. We're gonna steer it. All right. So the last time we looked at the steering column, I was welding this hole, what's-a-bobber together. What's-a-bobber. We did this for the sensor. We still have to figure out how this is gonna come into the transmission tunnel. Is this gonna get cut? I have an idea. That's later. It's still somewhat flexible because those brackets to the firewall are not bolted through right now, and it could use some more structure. But the question we had was, well, you just welded it all in. How does it come apart? I'll probably get on my glasses cam and show you. But first I want to look at a couple things. Yeah. Now let's do the glasses cam. I'll be right back. So this is probably what people didn't see was the development of this steering shaft. There is a Heim joint here that has a bolt on the rear side. All right. There is some support bearings in here, and then all of this is on these unboltable U-joints. And yeah, there's primer everywhere because I'm messy like that. So just to say, right, if you take that, whoa, I just lost that screw. Good thing we got a hardware store nearby. Ooh, and I trapped that hardware, so we gotta trim that out. So that. Let's look in our. By the way, if you do buy a pair of eye muffs, I'm not saying this is the best use of the case, but if you were to buy a few pairs and you had an extra case, look at this. It works wonderful for the Allen keys. Let's put this in. Look at that first shot. That's an eye for you. So see, this unbolts. This comes out, and I found those nifty little bearings. See that? They're roller bearings. They're on Amazon. So they fit this shaft perfectly. And then I honed out this little, they're actually plumbing fittings, those galvanized pipe fittings that I joined with a nipple. And then these fit perfectly. So once there's a spacer established, etc., for the wheel, you know, all that happy stuff disassembles. So how do we get that out? That comes up, that comes out, the other bearing pops out, right? So that will be maybe a Zerk fitting in there, I don't know, or you just grease the heck out of it, a little rubber, whatever. So yeah, in the end, that's just a hollow tube. This comes out, yada yada, straight through. Any questions? The thing is, all this is cool, but this steering shaft with this end does not go. So we got that. So I'm probably gonna cut the other steering shaft into this shape. Let me bring this over. I'm probably getting short on time with these glasses. Try to make it happen. So this is what we're dealing with. We got these rubber things which will come off easily. We have about that much. Yeah, look, it's just gonna make it. Boom, and I can offer that to whoever wants to buy that steering lock. Okay, we just looked at these two together, and it looks like I could just cut this off right here because this is going to be just a wee bit longer. Verify that. If you're ever doing this, don't point that towards your eye. There's a way that you can lever the steering wheel when you're sitting in the car from the seat with your knees. And if you do it wrong, when that steering wheel releases, the steering wheel's gonna punch you right in the nose. Ask me how I know. Yeah, that's not working. You don't want to ruin the thread, so try the old hammer, wooden handle. So this is what we needed, that taper. I covered it in another episode, but fits the Zephyr perfectly. Taper and a key. And these aren't doing anything. And this, it appears, is threaded and screwed to the steering shaft. So if somebody uses that lock, fine. I wonder if we could take it off. Yeah, isn't it like me to not bring the correct tool to the job? Just cut it off. That's the beauty of being a welder. Tools are obsolete. If you got a welder and a grinder, anything's possible. Feeling me on that statement? Could have gone through all the business trying to unscrew these and take it apart. We're just gonna cut it right off. And I bet these dogs are gonna make a quick exit. They don't mind the laundry going. As soon as you turn on one of these things, they're history. There you go. Ah, the plot thickens. This is hollow. I'm gonna have to go for a different steering U-joint. They have different styles. So this is called the double D shaft. I don't know. Not as obscene as the bunghole, but this is the double D shaft, and we have the round here. So we're gonna get one of these with a round. Connect that. So this will be a mock-up at this point. These I mentioned pop right off. Save them though. They might be worth something. I'm gonna clean this up a little with a sanding disc. All right, now this is pretty crusty. I bought a bunch of these bearings because they came in a pack of like 6. So hopefully, come on, don't prove me wrong so early. Oh no. Fits this. Perfect. What's going on here? Come on, let's just hope it's old age. Oh, that does not work with that bearing. Man. So maybe we got to use that and join. No, it's gun drilled right through. So, man, that's odd. What if we take this key out? Let's try this end. Yeah, just another episode where we thought we were going to step in. It's a success right off the bat. Man, does it go on that end? Ah, yeah, so this just got a little bit crusty through the weather. They are the same size, so I wonder if I could put that drill. I wonder if that drill opens up. Put it in there and spin that, or maybe I could put a drill bit in there. All right, follow me here. You thought Martin the Machinist was something to behold. Watch this. Got our cordless drill. Got our drill bit. Got our steering column. We got some electrical tape. Yeah, this is just me alone in the garage with the dogs. Can't write this. Can't write this script for television. I'm gonna put that on here, and we're just gonna catch that drill bit just a smidge. Let's put on our eyeglasses so we all could see this. Now I'm gonna use the electrical tape because the drill bit fit right into that bore. I thought it might bind up. I got a nice grip on that, right? We're gonna switch it into second gear. Following me? Homemade benchtop lathe. Still a little bit rough through the corrosion. Could be swelling up a little bit. I don't know. Where did the bearing slide onto this? So from the joint, yeah. Bearings were pretty low. They're actually on this end. I'd feel better if they slid all the way through the... Whatever happened there is odd. I wonder if that shaft is tapered. Like, is it thicker here? If I had one of them fancy machinist micrometer tools. But either way, it's not going to hurt it. If we just continue to machine. There it is. All right, we got to this point. My gosh, by golly, it's just my work. Sure did clean it up though. Yeah, could be hot at this point. Let's see, so from here to there. No, we want to come in just a little bit more. Getting there. Yeah, there it is. Whoa. Heat took it right off. Perfect. Well, it's nice and warm. Let's disassemble that. Right back to a drill. All right, you saw it here first. Now we can buy the correct U-joint to make that happen. All right, cool. So we got that to go to the Zephyr wheel. Let's put this firewall together. That's this piece here. Have to do some cutting, maybe a little welding. A little better explanation. You got kind of this thick plastic ring. Some of them had metal, and I didn't felt like we needed that. And then you can see that just stretches out to accept that. Is it watertight right there? No, but a little washer, some silicone, that's going to be just fine. The idea was, you know, if things are a little out of round, you know, we're going to want it to wobble that way just a little bit. So I think a big flat washer on both sides, some grease in there, that's good. So let's take this all over to the car. We got steering, we got that just for a mock-up. We got 2 bearings. All right, let's plug it in, let's see what happens. We're not gonna need that. All right, got a bunch of sleepyheads with us. I brought the other steering shaft here because that matches the U-joint. Just because we're gonna mock up for this thing. You can see, probably gonna put this on the outside of it, but just for a reference, you know, it's gonna pop right on there. And that's what I was hoping for, to just open this up, but we might have to weld something in. Let's just assemble once more. With here, like that, like that. Uh-oh. Come on. Like so, like so. And we're not going to put any hardware in, so we're just slip fitting it. Except for this nut, which matters. Oops. Up there. Up there. And this coming up. Look at that. That was spinning in. Whoa. So this, you can see, still not fully welded, but then I'm probably going to brace onto here. And then those bolt through the firewall. Somebody else's work. All right, cool. So that is a definite right there. We have this. One of them. One of them. And repeat. That comes down. Indexes into that. So that's our angle of the dangle. And looking at this, right, put a little, doesn't seem to be very out of round at all. That's good news. So let's bring this up to the firewall side on the outside. That's what we have here. See the same slip together arrangement. And I'm gonna try to just open this and put that piece on there. I done tightened it good. All right, cool. So let's remember that that's there. I'm also going to want to reinforce this. So look at that. That looks great. You might not even have to. All right, so that goes there. All right, so this is our arrangement. I'm going to just set it in place. So I'm going to get some nuts and bolts, but let's just drill this in. So it's sitting. See, this is what I was immediately just questioning. Once we get this set, we're going to open up that. Don't need that big ugly cut. Yeah, let's put one hole right there. So looking at that, definitely going to want to fill something in right there. And we're going to want to open that up. So I'm going to get this out of the way. Get my shears and open this, fill that. So this is kind of what I knew it was gonna end up being. Just a lot of crawling around in here, but we're here because I have been hacking away at this, trying to figure out the angles, but now we got it, so I'll make a cleaner one. Probably gonna make a ring for the inside. Instead of welding this, follow me here. That way I can silicone all the way through this boundary. Metal soft, but definitely it's like it's formable, but it's very strong. So we got this, we centered it, and now we have that, right? We need a bolt pattern to transfer to something that doesn't exist here. Let's make a ring this big with these 4 holes. That way that goes on the inside. Lil, are you still with us? The most important part is yet to come. No? No. I think what I'm gonna do, we have this big piece of steel sitting in the corner. See, this is the way I think, and I think it's a good way for most people trying to manage their spotless shop, as I do, right? Maybe we could take that off and not have this big piece. I think we're gonna do it here though, because we want this piece bigger. All right, it's the old washer trick. Now anybody could do this on a CAD design board. But you just got your money's worth watching that. The old round the world washer trick. Yes, you saw it here. All right, then we got 3 and 4. And then we got our center somewhere there. Cool. So the idea is this is on the inside of the firewall, that's on the out. They sandwich together, silicone. It's a happy story. These will be bolted together, but for now I got some drywall screws. Plastic tables really help with this. No resistance on the drill bit whatsoever. Cool. Let's get a little center on here. So we know it's not going to be that big for the steering shaft to come through, but let's just try this. Let's open it up that much. Let's make this mark here. In case we got to go bigger, we'll have that circle reference established. Take the shears and just go through that. All right. Does it add up? Does it add up where I was going with that cut? Now we don't have that big flag hang off. It's going to store this a little bit easier. All right. Let's get in here and open this up. Now I bet that this is going to be considerably smaller than it needs to be because this is vertical and our steering is coming in at a very heavy angle. So you know what I'm going to do? Take this and I'm going to open this up all the way out to here. That just occurred to me. All right, sweet. Lump that a little with the hammer and I'll go in with the sander and get this right. We're just trying to mock it up. Make sure it works. But we can put this together first and then slide the steering right in there. Since we can reach through here, I guess we're going to put it in with one hand on each side. Hammer and dolly that a bit. It's a little bit chewed up from the shears. How does one even accomplish this? Holding that here. I saw that coming. Yeah, let's try that. Cool. All right, number one. Let's set this through here, that through there. Let's see how quick this goes sideways. Try to tighten this and get a grip on that plate, probably gonna just fall right apart. Nope, it worked. My gosh, by golly. I'm gonna try to take this from here, set that. I can't see a thing. All right, here we go. Got that. Oof. Come on. Yeah. Wow, who thought this would be such an adventure? Amazing. All right, I'm gonna try to bring this through a little bit more. Get lined up from this side. There it is. I wonder if I should put the drill through here like that. Oh no, there it is. All right, we got that one located. We saw how that whole inside goes together. And that comes back down to here, like that. I'm hitting already inside, I can feel it. Okay, so coming in, yep. See, that's what I was saying. Definitely comes up. Over the top, just a little tight. I'll clean that up when it all comes apart again, but now we know. At least it's not gonna rub for the moment. All right, so I'll clean all that up, but right now we got the rotation we needed, and this is kind of in a way we weren't hoping to see, but I think I can work on that. Yeah. Again, this car won't be ridden in the rain, but I think if I just cut that out a little bit, and we'll just put a ring around there, but this is all good. Last thing is that, which I bought and left right there. Double D to the spline. That's oops, right there. That goes. Come on. Got some binding. Come on. Trying to push that steering shaft all the way out through the bearings in the top. Bet if I loosen that up a little bit, give us some play. Oh yeah, it's tight, no wonder. To there, down to there. All right, groovy. So if you remember, we ended up with this arrangement because the steering, the steering, yeah, but the exhaust comes into the steering. So cool, that's all good. That looks decent. Now up here, the only missing link is the steering shaft, which isn't the double D style. I got to get the right U-joint. But this is what we're looking at from here. You know, once this is hammered and pulled in, this will be sealed against the firewall. Clean that out, proper hardware. You got bearings, right? That's our discrepancy. We need to get a U-joint that supports that, not that. That will be sitting in here. Wait. Remember, the bearings don't go all the way to the end. Come on. Let's make this all add up. Alright. So yeah, that's bottoming out on the U-joint right now because it can't receive it. That'll go in there like that. Steering wheel on there. And last things first things last. That goes there. And I'll be able to tailor this once the seat is in. But I said I was going to steer But today it's not, because we need one more U-joint. But from the shaft through the firewall, ta-da, I'm gonna put in a gusset right now to lock that in and lock that in right out to the rack and pinion. Last thing, we're going out on some welding. All right, that's the news from the engine compartment. Gonna be a bunch of finishing up, and then this is gonna go to the shop and get installed, engine transmission, but I'm gonna continue the body work, and I'm probably gonna paint the inside of this, weld up a couple loose holes. What comes next? I have no idea. Oh, the shifter we talked about at the beginning, but never installed. Yeah, I'm gonna use the chrome T handle. Jamie's gonna get the horseshoe.